Hi, I'm Hope Tillman, and I'm the co-leader with Ann McKay of the Charlestown User Group. And today today's topic is trends in cybersecurity. And this is a topic that we revisit every year. And we picked May as the month, and apparently this is the right month to pick because yesterday Congress designated as National Senior Security Fraud Awareness Day. So they're and put out a notice, a congressional notice that that this is the day to raise awareness about the increasing number of fraudulent schemes targeted older people in the United States, to encourage the implementation of policies to prevent these scams from happening and to improve protections from these scams for seniors. Let me see if I can get back there. Okay. Ann and I picked this topic because of its importance for us, since cyber criminals often target us. We're talking about cyber crimes like identity theft, fraud, and scams. And one of the things I wanted to point out from the beginning is the greatest weakness is the human factor. The cyber criminals put out things like phishing emails, etc. And if we don't pay attention, we may click on something. And so we play a big role in keeping ourselves from being scammed. One of the first things that I wanted to suggest is the importance of creating strong passwords and not reusing the same password across accounts. Need to recognize phishing, and I'll explain much more detail what phishing is later. Emails, text calls, and to be sure not to click on any suspicious links or any links where you're not sure of its origin. Also, to be cautious about sharing personal and financial information online. Do think twice before completing online questionnaires, even from valid places. My point is, does your dentist or auto dealer really need your social security number? Or perhaps your Medicare number, but maybe not. Certainly, if needed, give it to them personally when you're face to face, not online if they need it. And to be sure to use secure Wi-Fi networks and not do sensitive browsing on public Wi-Fi. Be very cautious when in an airport or a coffee bar. Okay. So May 2nd was World Password Day. Poor password habits can lead to your data being stolen and bank accounts being accessed and more. It's best to change all passwords twice a year and change business passwords or banking passwords every 3 months. The important thing there for us also is to make sure we have a process where we can remember them, because that is also a critical factor. In this era of two-factor authentication, it perhaps is easier to forget your password and get back to it, since it also works with your email to have you do that. On one of the websites talking about World Password Day, this quote from Adrian Kovich, a salesperson: passwords are one of the first critical barriers between a person, a threat actor, and a successful cyber attack. But many people make the mistake of reusing the same login credentials across multiple sites and devices. This makes it easier for threat actors to gain access to sensitive information through advanced credentialing phishing campaigns. So the characteristics of a strong password, I would say today you should aim for 12 or more characters. Even 2 or 3 years ago, 8 characters was fine, but length is more important than special characters in securing, in having a good secure passwords. Some sites require those special characters. Otherwise, I don't use them. Avoid personal information or common words and phrases is certainly a good logical comment. Like an example of passwords, my doorbell plus buddy7, or even better, a nonsense set of words like correct horse battery paperclip. I put in the capitals when I do something like that, just for ease of my remembering them. Consider using a password manager if you haven't started doing that yet. If you use any number of passwords, if you have less than 50 passwords, you probably can get away with paper and pencil. But I find for myself, it's that really wouldn't work for me anymore. The other thing is to keep your device that you're using, your operating system, up to date. Be sure to update your device when you get notices that an update is available. Now, there are two types of updates. There's moving or migrating to a new operating system, which Apple does regularly. And you may want to wait until, a little bit on that one, but make sure any of the interim security updates are done as soon as possible when you get the weekly notices. Both Apple and Microsoft have good security in place, as long as you are diligent about the updates. So there's no real need to have an expensive, anti-security or anti-virus program. Cyber criminals can infect your device with malware, which enables them to enter your device without your knowledge. Frequently, they're doing that through the emails that they send or through links that you click on when you're on a browser. So getting the infection, the malware, does require your help. Also, check your browser's extensions to make sure they are legitimate. An extension, for instance, in Safari, if you look under the Safari, you'll see Safari extensions. And from there, you can go and see a list of all the ones you might have, or you can see the ones that you do have. For instance, one that I have had at some point is Grammarly, which helps correct grammar mistakes and spelling mistakes, or other things like that. There are a number of these extensions that folks use, and you may not think about them as make sure that you get them from the Apple Store rather than downloading something from the web. So phishing. So it's important to recognize phishing emails, text calls, and not clicking on links in emails. So phishing is a type of an online scam that targets consumers by sending them an email or text or phone call that claims to be from a well-known source or legitimate company. Be careful when providing information on websites or online forums. And do not respond to unsolicited emails, texts, or calls claiming to be from legitimate companies. Some examples of scams: emails supposedly from your bank, from Amazon, PayPal, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Google, etc. So someone supposedly offer you something too good to be true, an invoice for something you have, and a pop-up message on your computer, perhaps with a blaring sound saying it has been infected and to call a number to fix it. So all of these are good examples of scams. On that pop-up message, I know that a few folks have gotten those this week. One of the best things, or the only thing to do, is at that point, just turn off your computer. It says, it'll probably say something on the pop-up message, do not turn off your computer. Well, if you do, and then wait a second or two and turn it back on, you'll find that pop-up message has disappeared. So, and for smartphone, there is a setting which I have enacted that is do not ring any calls that are not from phone numbers that you have in your contact list. So if any of you are trying to reach me and are not in my contact list, you'll go into my voicemail and can leave me voicemail, at which point I can respond and then put you in my contact list and we're good to go. But I found that has prevented a number of those types of phone calls where I might be say yes to something that I really didn't want to. Okay, let me then. Yes,
You're up.
and now when we have them, they're well formatted. You know, there are usually some clues, like in this case, if you can see there's an amount that's a 0.4, it's not in cents. So, but this one is clearly, this was a text message with a Walmart gift card. And I assume you're seeing that one now.
Yes.
Yes.
And the other clue with any of these is there's an urgency. You know, they're trying to entice you to click on something because you're getting it in, it's bright and shiny. Usually, and a lot of times it's saying, you know, this is your last chance or something of that nature. And here's an example, okay, that Ann put in. Here's, can you provide more detail about the statement that appears most frequently shown by? And PayPal has an attachment there. It looks like it's something, but it's from somebody who does not have an official email address. And so that would be another good clue.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and here's one of those Netflix ones. And again, it's kind of tries to be in your face and has a button to log in now. Now be careful, because in some cases with these, it's not just the button that's clickable, but any place in the on the slide on the on email itself. So don't click on anything in any of these. Okay, here's the example of that pop-up. And this is you know, saying that your computer is infected and you need us to help you with that. At this point, be sure to just turn off your computer and then you'll be okay when you turn it on again. Further to be cautious, let's see, about sharing any of your personal information online. If someone calls me, I will never give them any personal information, or either that or by email or text. If I have phoned somebody, then you know, and I know who it is I'm talking to at the bank, then I'm willing to share the information so that they can help me. But again, never click on a link or call a phone number from an unsolicited source. And never give any of those types of callers access to your system. Now, when my computer was really having some issues, I called Apple, and Apple's support was really good and helped me. I gave them remote access, but I had already, you know, proved, and they had sent me the appropriate disclaimer thing to sign before I let them into my computer. And also just be careful and don't post personal details on social media, email lists, or online forums, or give out personal information. Your Wi-Fi networks. I think we're all used to the lock symbol to going into on a web browser. Oh no, for visiting a secure website. But when you're on public Wi-Fi, that isn't the time to do your banking transactions. If you're in an airport or a place like that, wait until later to check your bank statement. It's just a good tip, because somebody with some sort of a sniffer could be somewhere around that then could capture the keystrokes that you were doing. and I think I mentioned this before, but keep your devices updated with the latest software and only download apps from trusted sources. The Apple Store has had a monopoly till now, but because of the latest rules and regulations, they're having to open up. And so there will be other places that you can download apps from, and be very cautious about doing that. Also, if you don't have a password on your smartphone or your tablet, you should consider getting one, and keeping it, unless you only use your tablet in your room. If you carry it around, you probably do want to have it password protected. And does everyone there have the Find My enabled on their devices, on their phone or their tablet? Because that's really an important part of the process if in fact you lose or have your device stolen. So if in fact you were to lose your phone, I have a slide that will be in this set to the steps you take if you lose your phone, and how you let Apple know about it. And I found out that if in fact you have the theft and loss coverage for your iPhone, you can get a new iPhone through that if it is lost. But if Find My is enabled, if you log into iCloud and select all devices and choose your device, you select it marked as lost. And after a little time, you could do the erase this device. If you think there's a chance you can get it back, I wouldn't do that at this point. If you lose it on a train or something like that, I might do it right away. But if if I leave it at the Giant and I can see from Find My that it's sitting in the Giant and it hasn't moved, then I think I probably would feel comfortable not to erase it. Instead, I would probably drive down to Giant or at least phone there and see if I can have someone pick it up for me and hold it at customer service. But there are online instructions on the app, on the iCloud, on how to mark it lost and how to erase the device. Apple support has a good section on what to do, and all these things that I've said. It's a very easy thing to follow. Apple theft and loss coverage, you can file a claim, and you don't remove your device from your account until your claim has been fully approved, because they'll be sending you a new phone. The Internet of Things, there's all sorts of other stuff that may be capturing information, and some of that information, the thermostat that I can turn up and down from my phone doesn't have a lot of private information I worry about, but smart speakers can capture information, and there is a way there to manage it and remove information after a time period, and you can set that time period. All your smart medical devices, cameras, all of those are something to pay attention for. One of the things that we pointed out in the Alexa class this week was that if you have a smart speaker, make sure you know where its camera is, and that you can usually just use a slider to close that if you don't want to have it be your picture be visible outside for some time period. While smart home devices may not have passwords, they frequently will have an account for you to access from your computer or smartphone, and make sure you do run those updates and change those passwords from whatever their original default was. The risk of Internet of Things is not so much one that we have to be worried about, but the companies that we work with do. I mean, for instance, Ascensions, we don't know what caused their their loss of service and the cyber attack they had. but hackers can flood a system with data requests from the low power Internet of Things devices and cause them to stop working. Now, they can also get somebody's password and get into the system and get to things that way. But just to be aware that there are issues with all the little devices that are running around. Identity theft typically happens when personal information like either social security numbers, credit card details, or login credentials are stolen and used by criminals for fraudulent purposes. Data breaches, phishing scams, stolen physical wallets, stolen mail, and malware that's gotten on your system are all ways that thieves get to this stuff. And they can then use this to open accounts, make purchases, or commit other forms of fraud. Frequently, the people who actually steal it sell it, and then it's other people who are the ones who are doing the actual thefts. So to be vigilant, you should monitor your bank and credit card statement for any unauthorized charges, and consider using a credit freeze and identity and possibly an identity theft protection services. So, I know that we have our credit frozen and only unfreeze it when we're going to actually need it. So if you are a victim, you should make sure first to contact Charlestown Security. We are very fortunate that we live here. You can file an identity theft report then with the police. Contact the company where the fraud occurred to dispute your charges and close any compromised accounts. Place a fraud alert on credit reports and get copies of your credit reports to review for any things that are that come up there. Consider placing a credit freeze, as I point out, to prevent further fraud. And consistently monitor your financial statements and credit reports while disputing any fraudulent activity in writing. Okay, if you find a lost iPhone, that's one of the things that I thought would be useful to point out, because someone asked the question earlier. If the iPhone has been put into lost mode, it means the owner has logged into iCloud and marked the device as lost. If you see that kind of message when you've gone in and put in the information that you're able to get about the device, this may give you a contact number or email address you can use to track down the owner. If not, return it to the carrier, like Verizon or Apple or wherever you got the phone, or the police. And I also have a link on the steps to follow and things that might be useful there. We have a bunch of resources that would be maybe of use to you. Microsoft, Apple, a college link, Amazon has several, and how to do a credit freeze. These are good, short, all 2 minutes or less YouTube clips. I also have the FBI public service announcement for yesterday, and a link that Ed Appel gave me that is about the FBI, former FBI and CIA Director William Webster, who was a target of an elder scam. And this is a 2-hour recording that has really great information about an experience that we don't want to have. Let's see, I think that is that. So that is the end of the slides.